Gangsters, see all the way back here, they dropped out very early on. They got knocked down in the second round by Lion Esports Club, and then they eventually got knocked out by a nice prize pool, actually, finishing 9th through 12th place. So you could safely say a pretty disappointing finish for Internet Gangsters in Cycle 1. Justice League managed to make it all the way to 5th, 6th place before they were knocked out by Too Much Sugar, of course, as you see right there. So obviously, as far as the recent success, is slightly better for Justice League coming off of that Cycle 1 high, but I would not be surprised to see a great best out of 3 series here, and perhaps even 3 games as a result of this series looking so even and so good. So yeah, with that said, obviously we got 2 teams here, Justice League versus Internet Gangsters. We've been doing a lot of coverage of Justice League recently. However, with Internet Gangsters, we haven't really covered them a whole lot, honestly. You know, again, they had a disappointing finish here in Cycle number 1. They were one of the 8 invited teams as well, so there hasn't been a whole lot of chance to actually cover them. They are the Ultimate Series tournament, with that said, and they are in the finals, which we will be covering on Monday as well. But I'm excited to see what IG is bringing to the table recently. And in fact, game number 1, it is even well on its way. So I think it is time we definitely jump in here and get things started with game number 1. So here we are, Justice League taking on Internet Gangsters. Again, best set of 3, kicking things off here. This is the round of 16 coming at you for HoN Tour Cycle number 2. So as far as this game stepping up, I had to rejoin right there. So as far as the initial bans, let's take a look at that real quickly. Not sure, unfortunately, who banned what, but you do see Ophelia, Lodestone, War Beast, and Keeper of the Forest were the 4 bans. So once again, a mix of that jungle and suicide options. It seems like if we're going to see bans, it's either jungler or it's either suicide. It's pretty much what it comes down to in a lot of cases here for Captain's Pick recently. Unless there is that hero specific, whether it's later on in the series or maybe against a certain team, maybe against the former VDT at least, you know, Pew, yeah, maybe banning the Monkey King, not a bad option. But yeah, for the most part, it seems like it's either suicide or those junglers when it comes down to it. So no different here as far as the picks are concerned. We got Tempest, followed by Scout, Engineer, Pebbles, Rally, and Pyromancer. So obviously a pretty solid start here to this game. Nothing out of the ordinary as we move into the next tier of bans. But I'm sure IG going to be happy with that Scout pickup over there, managing to get him, especially knowing that they're going to be going up against a jungler. I mean, so you look at Justice League there, doing that first pick Tempest, giving IG the chance to not only first pick that Scout themselves, but also as a kind of a response, you could say, to the Tempest pickup. I mean, again, even later on, I mean, with that Electric Eye, the fact that it still provides a way to stop the Tempest ultimate technically, being the physical silence, even if he has a shrunken head, as long as you get it down in the midst of the fight before you get caught by the ultimate, or even if you put it in the outskirts as he maybe gets it on your team, you can definitely silence him, preventing the ultimate from going full duration. So there is that factor, but even the more important factor, you could argue, is the fact that he's very difficult to deal with in the early game phase. And you know, I've talked to several co-casters about that, from Riser to Emperor, whatnot. I mean, it's pretty evident playing against a Scout is, especially nowadays, is arguably one of the most annoying heroes to play against nowadays. So the Vanish ability just makes it very difficult, and any good Scout player, and I'm sure whoever it ends up in the hands of here, maybe Xibe even, but it's going to play very well played, very harassment-like, and going to be difficult to deal with. So definitely a good pickup there for Internet Gangsters when it comes down to it. As far as the next tier of bans go, we got Parasite, Corrupted Disciple, Predator, Wretched Hag, and Zephyr, followed by Master of Arms, actually, as the last ban. So a couple of interesting bans to talk about. I mean, the Corrupted Disciple, for one, he's been kind of stepping up recently on the competitive scene. Banned out by Internet Gangsters right there against DCX. And then also Zephyr banned out by actually Justice League, going up against IG, so they don't want to have to deal with the bird here when it comes down to it. And you see right here, it can go through a couple of the player stats, and with that new tournament stats tab again, you can check out some sweet stats of who they played and what their stats were like for Cycle number 1 at least. And actually Xibe playing a array of heroes right there when it comes down to it. Even playing the Vindicator, apparently. Again, IG's been known to run that Vindicator every now and then. I think the Valkyrie, they've also, Insane has ran the Valkyrie a couple times, so kind of go through and see some of the stats right there. But moving on here, we got Deadwood, the next pick coming out for Justice League. Wild Soul going to be the response here from Internet Gangsters. Now, that actually brings up, obviously, kind of an interesting point here. Is it possible we're going to see a short lane Scout and maybe a Suicide Wild Soul? Are we going to see the Jungle Soul instead? That wouldn't be completely out of the question by any means, but it just seems like as far as what he can bring to the table, he's just more efficient in that suicide role. Now, at the same time, though, again, if he's in that jungle role, as long as he can manage to have him get a good start, then maybe it could definitely work out just as well, if not even better in some cases, as far as him individually at least. So, again, it's not out of the question by any means, but we're definitely going to get most likely an answer here with this final pick, depending on what it is when it comes down to it. The final pick for Justice League is going to be Torturer, and there you go with the Witch Slayer. Final pick coming out by Internet Gangster. So, my initial reaction is that it's going to be a Jungle Wild. So, I mean, yeah, Insania is going to be playing in here. It's more than likely going to be Jungle Wild, so especially with that. So, Zergo, it looks like he's going to be one, playing the Suicide Scout. You got Xibbe going to most likely play that short lane Witch Slayer. And then you have Pebbles and Pyromancer possibly going to be in that middle lane. So, going the Witch Slayer final pick right there. He tends to be a fairly squishy hero. I mean, even if he gets some decent levels in farm, he's in the end, he's definitely a fairly squishy hero. Now, he does have great crowd control, of course. But when it comes down to it, lagging out right here, apparently. Hopefully it reconnects. There you go. Looks like we're fine. Anyways, when it comes down to it, as far as the lineup over here for the Legion team, I mean, they got some bursty heroes over here, from Deadwood to, of course, Rally. Definitely has a good potential, good lockdown from Engineer. So the Witch Slayer pickup, not a bad pickup by any means, but curious to see how that works out. This is the new Pyromancer skin. Okay, this is the Bounty Hunter dude, the Ultimate Series Pyromancer skin. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that progress. I haven't actually seen it yet myself, so cool stuff there. Cinder coming through. Boo-Boo's in trouble, damn it. Look at this. IG, or DCX, excuse me, did a great job of blocking out Boo-Boo. And Insania's going to lose his bear right off the bat. Oh, no. He has 64 seconds now before it spawns again. See a pause coming out right here. They're going to spam some G's, I'm sure. No, that'd be weird. That'd be bad manner. They're probably not going to do that. But Wild Soul, he does not have a bear now for 60 seconds, basically. You see, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. I mean, pretty much when the creeps spawn, he's going to have it. However, he won't be able to utilize it for a pull. Now, I don't know if that was going to be intended anyways. Scout, obviously, he is down here. He could definitely take care of that himself. We have seen that many of times before, so interested to see if Zergo just goes ahead and does that, especially with the fact that Boo-Boo's dead. But my point being, obviously, with Boo-Boo dying right there and how long he has to resurrect, he's going to be up pretty much when the first spawn happens at 30 seconds into the game. So, again, it's really not the absolute biggest deal in the world that his bear died right there. But it is some free gold for the Legion team, and I'm actually not even sure who got that. Was it Engineer? Okay, yeah, sorry. There you go. Got Panman coming through. Panman coming through as my co-caster today. Damn it. Why aren't you live? Gotta be live for this.
My bad.
There you go. Panman's gonna be my interim co-caster here. Bringing up those solid points. Mentioning that Engineer has the gold over there, so yeah, makes sense. He's the one that got the kill on the bear, so a little bit of extra gold coming out for TPS Priceless, and we'll gladly take that. On his way to earlier on boots, perhaps. But look at what the Legion team's doing, and, Riser, we had him on yesterday. He made a strong point about this. A lot more teams have been willing to do this more recently with the aggressive dual lane. Well, I guess, actually, this is technically an aggressive tri-lane. Tempest happens to be here as well, so how about that? They're going with the aggressive tri-lane, but they're... Okay, what? This is a... Jesus. That's a very aggressive Wardicide coming out here from DCX to begin the game. That's a... Not one you would expect to see off the bat. Torture is going to be the priority farm up here, though, but they got Engineer, Torture, and Tempest is... I'm not sure what Tempest... He's kind of chilling out nearby. He's going to do this camp most likely. Maybe just waiting to get the information as far as what's actually going on. It is going to be Pebbles Pyromancer, though, at the top lane. So, I think IG made the early on adjustment, realizing what was possibly going to be happening. Do not want to have Witch Slayer against this very, very susceptible to dying lane up there at the top side. So I definitely agree with that decision. Instead, he's going to be matched up against Rally, a much more friendlier of a matchup. By all means, Pyromancer in the meantime. Sender's going to be bloodlusted right there. Oh, man, he went off to the side, and he just got simply caught out by the trees right there. Engineer and Tempest were able to collapse, and they take out Pyromancer. Tempest not even level 2, so didn't even have his stun right there, the Glacial Blast. Yet still managing to do the work. I didn't necessarily catch the very beginning of that, but Cinder, for whatever reason, roaming around went maybe just to check the pole camp real quickly to see if it was even spawning, if he needed to block it or get rid of the ward or whatnot. Obviously ends up being his death. So how about this adjustment, though, coming out? Look at this. Immediately they're like, okay, this is not going to work. We're not going to have a good time here at this top lane. They send Pebbles to the bottom lane. Scout buys a TP. He goes to the top lane. Powerman's head to bottom. And Wild Soul started things off in the other jungle. He's actually sending Boo Boo back to base right now to regen even. He's going to protect the 2-minute rune as a spawns right there. It's only a refreshment, though. The illusion rune happens to be top. So not the friendliest of starts here for Internet Gangsters to kick things off, but at the same time, doing a good job of making those early adjustments at least. And, you know, what's done is done. I will say Scout, you know, going back to the point that I made from the very beginning with that Scout pick, he really wasn't able to take advantage of that as well as a result of Justice League doing what they did, especially the fact that they sent the aggressive Triland. So that's even another reason why the aggressive Triland was even a better choice by Justice League. Figuring they were going to send the Scout Suicide as expected. He would block up the camps with those eyes and whatnot, with the Ward of Sights. And so you wouldn't be able to jungle much anyway. So they just respond right off the bat with, you know what, we're not even going to give you that chance. We're going to go top. And no doubt Justice League winning the Mind Games battle right off the bat, you could safely say. Now, Zane in the middle lane, he's having to deal with this Witch Slayer, and you already see a little bit. This seems to be a much more popular build on Witch Slayers. Again, we don't see this hero all too often, honestly, but when we do see him pop up here and there, he's kind of one of those average, you know, every now and then pickups on the competitive scene, especially in the solo role. He levels up the mana drain. You go the graveyard mana drain, at least the 2-level, or excuse me, power drain, as it's as it's specifically called, but he gets usually 2 levels in that, and it's very annoying to deal with. Zergo in the meantime at the top lane. He's going to end up dropping up there. Dust was even used, looks like, by Engineer, and now this top tower even going to start taking some pressure. So, well played by Justice League so far early on in this game. Zergo goes down, and you already see the 2-0 hero kill advantage in favor of DCX. But again, Witch Slayer abusing that power drain ability. Raleigh has basically had no mana to use that Capel, and actually like his build too. I mean, you see he is going the passive now. We've seen a lot of Raleighs actually go the demoralizing reward more so lately because of the nerf to the passive in a lot of cases. But in this matchup specifically, you're not going to have mana to spare at this rate. So I definitely agree with that decision 100% there coming out from Zane. To go the passive, might as well get a benefit out of your ability, where if he went the W, probably wouldn't have gotten much. He's going to try to go for the rune right here. Nice Compel stun, and he steals a Haste Rune right in front of him, but at what cost? Scout's coming over. He's going to apply some pressure right there, which are not level 6 just yet. Here comes Scout. The disarm comes out, and actually, Raleigh will be fine. So, yeah, even if he had miniaturization right there, it wouldn't have mattered, especially with that Haste Rune. So, again, probably not going to be killed anyways. So his build definitely just still more so fine than anything. But Zane able to get away at least with his life and goes back to the lane. I'm guessing that's going to be a bottle delivered. Yeah, he's got the bottle. So unfortunately, he didn't have that before he ran into the Haste Rune. That would be nice to actually bottle it up. But in the end, he does have the bottle. Down in the meantime at the bottom lane, Pyromancer and Pebbles. It looks like they combo him to take him out. So let's take a good overlook here as far as kind of a breakdown what's actually happening in this game with stats. Well, you can see up here, they're already pressuring the secondary tower. It took me a second to kind of register that, but I realized where my camera was. Wow, they're already at the secondary tower. They got the first tower killed. Already applying pressure over here. Vulnerability's used right there. Scout needs to be careful. Electric Eye goes out. The silence was a little bit too late. The nice turret coming out right there. And Scout will fall once again. Zergo gets picked off. Oh no, this is snowballing quickly. Oh, middle lane in the meantime. They do get a kill on a Rally, however. So at least Rally falling in favor of Internet Gangsters. But this tower at the top lane, it is going to drop. We're going to see a secondary tower go down really about 5:30, maybe 5:35 into this game. This is not a team that screams, "Oh my God, push! You need to defend against it" at all. That is pretty ridiculous when it comes down to it. So we already see 2 towers push, 3,100 gold as a result. And so, of course, DCX now going to make some adjustments. Torture and Engineer, they're headed middle lane. And good start pressuring this one, maybe even looking to push in this tower. But again, breaking down the creep farm so far. You got Torture, was at a 20-5 creep farm up there. 350 gold per minute. Honestly, not the most impressive creep score necessarily, but really when it comes to the GPM, obviously looking pretty good, especially with those 2 tower kills and the 3 assists on top of that for Torturer. So across the board, yeah, the creep score is not, honestly, again, the most impressive across the board. That's even more so on the side of the Hellborn team, especially Pebbles leading the way. 38-9 down here at the bottom lane. He's at 356 gold per minute. Wild Soul's also sitting around 214, so he's been doing his best to have a decent time in the aggressive jungle. But this middle tower is going to fall, so again, Internet Gangsters has some decisions to make here as far as how they want to respond to Justice League and what's turning into more of an aggressive playstyle. Invis Witchler comes out, the Pyromancer with the combo. That was actually pretty cool animation coming out right there. The dragon from beneath. It actually takes out Imba Boy playing the Torture, so nice catch happening right there in favor of Internet Gangsters at least. And good use of the Invis rune. Witchler is level 6. There again, he's level 7 now actually. He actually used the Silver Bullet. I apologize. I said earlier, I'm under if that's probably to use to get the kill onto Rally. That happened earlier on in the game. They're going to try to protect the secondary tower. It has already dropped so low, though. Deadwood off to the side. He's looking for somewhat of an opportunity right here. We do see Play to Greaves, Ring of Sorcery on St. Rocks currently. So assisting for some good push early on. This tower's going to fall. Can it be denied? It doesn't look like it. Pyromancer puts the combo out. Trying to scare them a little bit right there, but not much is going to be had. Wild Soul actually in some trouble. Deadwood a great round grasp. The dust comes out. Engineer trying to finish off Wild Soul. It's not going to be enough, though. He gets tapped forward. Compelled forward, I should say. Here comes a combo from Pebbles. And I apparently have lagged out of the game, unfortunately. Okay. Skipping through into the future. Tempest actually going to be picked off, it looks like. Turnaround here by the Hellborn team. Rally and Deadwood going to be on the run. Deadwood's in some trouble. Going to use some bottle charges right there. He's going to go for the TP. No, the Graveyard Stun hits in time. And Pook will fall. So well played right there. I mean, kind of, okay. Kind of teleported into the future right there. And unfortunately missed what ended up being a pretty solid turnaround for the most part by Internet Gangsters. At least kind of the initial turnaround moment. So apologize for that, but obviously well played in the end by IG coming out right there. And they actually take the hero kill lead as a result of that. So overall, it is still a better game so far for Justice League when it comes down to it as far as the 4,500 gold lead. But Internet Gangsters holding strong there at least. Making something happen. Look at Tempest, though. Holy crap. St. Rocks is having a hell of a game here. He's almost got an Astrolabe already finished. They're going to push another tower in. Again, this is not a team that screams, oh my god, aggressive tower pushing. But you got a level 4 Impalement Torturer now. You got Tempest, that's level 7 with those level 4 Elementals. I'm sure you have level 4 Elementals. Because of the laning phase, because of what they're able to do at the top lane, you know, you don't necessarily need an outright pushing team to make pushes happen like this as they're showing. Just comes down to, hey, if you're going to win your lanes as well as they did, especially at the top lane, snowball with that. Take advantage of that. And it also makes sense when you look at their lineup. I mean, they're going up against a Wild Soul, a scout over here on the Hellborn side, that if they know the longer they wait, the more those heroes are actually going to have a chance at some decent impact. So the fact that they are getting this early game momentum going is better news for them. I mean, at this point, they're obviously relying on a Torturer carry, which definitely has carry presence, at least into that mid-game stage. Provide a lot of AoE damage for your team, especially with those levels as they add up. But with that said, I mean, the levels aren't necessarily the best either. I mean, again, that's obviously a downside of pushing together so much as the game develops on. In fact, you do see the 1,800 experience lead in favor of the Hellborn team. So, Devil gets caught up to the side right here. Stalagmites connect. The Phoenix Wave goes out. Marksman shot gonna be his, and down he goes over. Here's a response now from Justice League. Pebbles go down. Compel gonna be his. What the heck is that? The blocks of the energy field coming out right there. Wild Soul is actually gonna lose his bear in the process. So a 2-for-1 exchange coming out. And DCX gonna counter push. Clearly something's up with my graphics. I think I need to restart, but I don't want to have them pause when there's a lot of momentum continuing to go on here. So hopefully it maybe dies down after this push right here, and I'll get a chance to actually restart real quickly. But another tower falls, and we are now looking at a 7,400 gold lead already in favor of Justice League. So a hell of a start for them. And again, looking pretty good. So all outer towers are now destroyed. We just hit 10 minutes and 45 seconds into this game. So I don't think you by all means have enough pushing power to push into the base just yet, but So maybe fall back, still look for those gank opportunities. In fact, you see right here, Witchslayer in some trouble. The turret cutting off Witchslayer, going one direction. He has to go the other. The Kex on it pushes him forward, though. Ron16 going to come out because everybody saw that coming. He dodges, got Pell's time to use that. Witchslayer will fall. Pebble's already poured again. The block TP is also coming in as well from Pyromancer. And Scout, the marksman shot. Yes, they finish off Deadwood. So at least they make a counter kill happen. And they are going to go for more even. Pebble's chasing. It doesn't look like it, though. They're going to be able to make it happen. Scout kind of going in the front lines. But again, not able to find the opportunity. So again, I know I need to restart here. In fact, here, let me ask them right here. Can you pause just real quick? Sorry. Need a restart. Want to see if the... I know, I hate killing the momentum here when it comes down to it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and restart right here when it comes down to it. Want to get that fixed. I know it's I know I've had that in the past, and I can't just simply disconnect and reconnect. I actually have to restart the client. So for now, you can look at my pretty face, and gonna join back into the game here any minute. So wow, though, I mean, Justice League. It's insane, really, what they're able to pull off with that strategy so far, as how they. But again, it makes sense. They looked at the lineup they were going up against. They realized very quickly that this is not a team that we want to compete with. Give them time to farm up and whatnot. So we're gonna take it to them, and we're gonna really put the pressure on them to actually respond to our aggressive push, our aggressive early play. And that's exactly what they're doing. So this is definitely well played a lot so far by Justice League. Now, even with all outer towers destroyed, however, by no means is this game over yet. In fact, when we do jump in right here, I want to kind of look at the stats once again to get a clearer picture as far as everything that's going on. But, Tempest is the one that's really up there for the Legion team and a big part of that gold advantage. After him, it drops down a little bit. I mean, you still have impressive GPMs across the board, which, again, we'll see here real shortly. Okay, so I'm back in the game. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. So we do see right here... yes, you look at the GPM chart again. You got Pebbles over 300 gold per minute now, Witchslayer around 270 GPM here, doing his part to try to progress. Wild Soul 230. Wild Soul is always that factor of, you know what, he might not have the most impressive GPMs early on in the game, but as we know so many times, and of course I get the invisible boo-boo bug. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's something I can fix. No, it's just if you join in games and whatnot with the Wild Soul, unfortunately, Boo-Boo goes invisible and you can't really see him. So might have to. Oh, there he is. Actually, never mind. Apparently, just go off of him and he comes back. All right. So, anyways, but it is at the same time it is looking pretty good for Justice League. So, buy time for Wild. So how much gold does he have saved up? 1,260. Oh, he tries to TP right here, but it just so happens Zane on Raleigh was invis right next to him. He gets the level 1, or he gets the one-hit entangle off at least. So it's going to buy him a little bit of time. Ghost Marcher's activated right there. We do see Deadwood. Book is chasing. Can he land a rotten grass? Will he need a Tempest coming in? But nice chuck from Pebbles right there. Saving Wild Soul initially. Energy field off to the side over here. They're trying to catch up Pebbles. Boozy trying to get away. Not going to happen. Falcon punch on him, and he ends up falling. Look at Wild Soul. Wild Soul still on the run. The Archer spots him, though. They know exactly where he is now. Boob is going to come out once again. He needs Boob to get an entangle right here. It's not going to happen. Tempest has an ultimate. Probably not going to use it, though. Probably not necessary in the end. He is just still running. Maybe it will be at this thread. Another Ghost March is going to be used. No, probably not. Compel comes out. Now here's the lockdown. Seismic Slam. Actually going to miss completely right there, but it might not matter. Oh my god, he's still alive. The entangles. Boo-Boo spawning. Insania, can he actually pull this off? No, the wrong grasp. And Insania does fall in the end. Now, you look at what happened elsewhere on the map during all that. Witchslayer actually manages to pick off Torch at the bottom lane, and the middle tower gets destroyed in favor of the Hellborn team. So actually, that really wasn't the worst thing ever for Internet Gangsters. And actually pretty good for them right now. Because, again, especially with the way this game is going, the last thing you want is for that momentum to continue for Justice League. If you can buy a minute like basically Insania did right there, sure, it did result in 2 deaths, both on Pebbles and Wild Soul. But you bought time for your Scout, for your Pebbles now, yourself, to actually get that portal key here. As far as that pickup goes, and actually, he's not even close to that. He's on a lot of build-up, though. The Power Supply, Steam Boots, Mystic Vestments, and the bottle. So he needs a bit of time here before he'll still even have the portal key. But buying more time for him to recover is definitely the name of the game here. So at least that's where that kind of comes into good news for IG. But again, overall, obviously, you don't want to die in the end. So still not a great thing at the same time. The fact that Wild Soul and Pebbles were picked off. But you do see Wild Soul back to farming up with Boo-Boo. Again, he has 1,000 gold right now saved up, so doing his best to get eventually that Mocker Brilliance. You still got to think that Mocker Brilliance is by all means priority to help counter push and start that snowball that Wallace took a break to the table. Bottom tower killed by Internet Gangsters in the meantime, so another tower killed on their part, and the gold gap, it's slowing down. It's slowing down quite a bit. 5,800 gold lead still for the Legion team, but it definitely has gone down. It's been upwards of 7,000 plus early on in this game. So again, more good news there for the Hellborn team. At the same time, though, Justice League, it's natural that they kind of develop into more of a little bit of a farming status here. As again, they're not going to really break into the base just yet. So kind of take advantage of the map control they have, farm the resources that they have, and, you know, look for those picks as far as the Hellborn team, as far as the Internet Gangsters trying to push up without their defensive towers and get some farm themselves. Imba Boy, look at his build, the Steam Boots into that Sacrificial Stone. He actually has a Neophyte's Book with a Major Totem, so Tablet of Command. In fact, I think, nope, not being delivered, but in fact, Mystic Vestment is being delivered. But Tablet of Command going to be the works here. Booba's going to be picked up, while also doesn't have Resurrection for 15 more seconds. So he will have to wait for that just a little bit of time. Deadwood has his portal key. You see a scout here at the bottom lane. It's almost as if they want to set something up. Witchlayer's nearby as well. Witchslayer has his own portal key. That's a big pickup, obviously, for Internet Gangsters. We'll see if Exhibit can make the best use of that here. He's probably also trying to hit level 11 first. In fact, after these couple of kills, might hit it. Yeah, there's level 11. So he has a level 2 Silver Bullet, though. Justice League putting some pressure into the base. Now, again, this is fine, but as long as they don't go too far here, they definitely need to be very careful as far as pushing too far into the base. They only have 4 of them with that set. Deadwood is running up, though. He is going to be here by the time it really matters. Tablet was just purchased by Torture. He doesn't have it delivered just yet, though. The courier's on the way. But again, he doesn't have it, so got to keep that in mind. Nope. Man, this is the cast of issues, apparently, today. I don't know what's up with my internet here, but
I swear it's not me. I'm not.
Yeah,
not
no,
doing
it's not the. I think the stream is fine. I think it's just this computer's internet connection for whatever reason having some issues. So, you know, try to look into that after this first game here, but apologize for now. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so gonna try to break into the base once again. Again, the tablet is on its way. No counter pushing coming out here by the Hellborn team. They're simply just sitting at their own tower. You see it's below half-life now. Again, they have the portal key on Witchslayer. Pebble's actually very close now. Wow, he jumped up in gold quite a bit here. You do see he's got 2,035. So if he can manage, I mean, he could sell his Homecoming Stone even right here and be very, very close. Maybe that could be, you know, something to think about as far as trying to catch them off guard, realizing that he doesn't have it yet, and then all of a sudden he has it. So no, he's just going to clean the creep waves. Yeah, he has it now. The tower is still alive, so he's gonna have a portal key here. So yeah, if you're Justice League, I don't know how many more times you can risk doing this, because you look at the bottom lane scout, speaking of counter push, he says, I'm tired of sitting around. I want to make something happen. So good move here by Zergo, making action happen. You see that gold lead dwindling, the experience lead definitely dwindling as well, in favor of Internet Gangsters, that is. Intengo going out on a Torture. He needs to be careful. Port coming in right here. There's the combo coming out. He's going to be healed up. That will be fine in the end. But very, very close right there onto Torturer. But he's fallen back, and I think the team realizes, okay, we need to be worrisome. That was the Pyro ultimate used, the Blazing Strike. That's something else to keep in mind, too. They have a Blazing Strike and a Silver Bullet. I didn't even think about that. Obviously, just crazy burst damage. And a marksman shot, yeah. How about that? Well, his long-range snipe abilities. So the burst, most certainly here on the Hellborn side, is the Scout kind of being a nuisance here when it comes down to it with the marksman shot. And it looks like the Legion team going to do more of the usual, okay, fall back, try to clean up the resources in the jungle a little bit, and then fall back to the lane. So good hold there in the end by Internet Gangsters. Again, that goes back, we're still very early on in this game. We're not even 19 minutes in, just about. So the likelihood of you breaking into the base, again, sure, they have push potential clearly. I mean, they took out 6 outer towers in something like 11 minutes. But this isn't a team that screams, yeah, we can start pushing. This isn't, you know, Balfagor Tempest, Master of Arms, Demented Shaman. You know, it's not that mass like, oh yeah, this makes sense what exactly they're going for here as far as pushing those towers in quickly. So this is buying more time though for Internet Gangsters to fall back. So really, if you're Justice League here, you have to take advantage of this map control. I mean, get those aggressive wards up. You do see a one up here, which they actually have one at the very beginning of the game too, which I still find interesting. But maybe that's even more insight, as that's what they're planning all along, to push the tower. So that's why they got the ward side up there, the secondary tower even. But anyways, get the map control. You see here though, I mean, IG, it's kind of like the map is almost split in half at this point as far as oh, middle lane actually. I was trying to see if I could draw on the mini map. I've never actually tried that before. Anyways, Pebbles gets picked up in the middle lane. But it's almost as if the map is kind of cut in half here. The right side belongs to IG and the left side belongs to Justice League. That's what it seems like lately. But right there, right in the middle, Pebbles gets caught out. And again, that's what Justice League is looking for. They're looking for those picks to then open up a better opportunity to push. But good push here by IG in the meantime. Witch Slayer and Scout push the bottom lane and able to apply pressure down there. Now Wild Soul, another 1,000 gold. And he actually goes a Warhammer here. Very interesting, actually, coming out from Wild Soul. Booby's locked up once again. Witch Slayer jumps in. The combo to Torture. Torture is going to end up falling despite the tablet. Tempest ultimate going to be canceled fairly quickly right there. Blazing Strike on in the background. And the Legion team in full retreat mode. So again, Legion team, Justice League, knocking on the door a little bit too long right there. And now they're the ones in retreat. Rally's trying to compel away. Witch Slayer jumping in. Tempest going to go for the TP. He will be successful. Rally will not be, however. Rally's picked off. Deadwood says, I'm going to go for the Homecoming Stone now. He will be successful. Stalagmite's just a half a second too late right there. But look at that hold from Internet Gangsters. They hold at their base, the portal key initiation. The Tempest ultimate, again, it got canceled fairly quickly. Not exactly sure what stopped it, but something did right off the bat. The Legion team, they invested a lot right there as well to try to kill Boo Boo off the bat. I think that was also a big deal because, and I think that was a good read by IG, specifically Exhibit. He realized, you know, they used a lot of their abilities, their stuns and whatnot, to try to drop Boo Boo. So I'm going to go in for this opportunity while they're on cooldown to drop them as a result. And Torture nearly got away, but didn't in the end. And obviously we saw the end result, so well played right there. Tempest does have a shrunken head now. So St. Rock's continuing to work off of this very solid farm himself. But that's scary. That's scary for Justice League because, again, you look at their lineup. This is a lineup that is more of that we needed this earlier game, progressing to the big game stage to take over and move on to a victory even. But IG ultimately able to hold at the top lane, and you're not going to get many more of those chances if you're Justice League, honestly. Even though we're only 22 minutes into the game, I mean, I'm still, what is this Warhammer gonna, is he going to Thunderclaw here? You know, I know, okay, he is. He's going Thunderclaw, and that's very interesting. It's not a build we see in HoN. I know in Dota, though, on the Lone Bear, the Wild Soul equivalent, basically, for I believe it's more of a popular build over there as far as Thunderclaw goes. I mean, don't quote me on that by any means, but I kind of wonder maybe if it's a little bit of that. You know, we talked about that before. You look at Dota, see what they're doing over there, try to make it work over here, and maybe there's a bit of that. As far as its practicality, as far as what it's used here, I mean, it definitely is solid. It's decent for creep. It's I guess you could kind of even say to an extent it's a. I mean, not really, but in the sense of creep clear, in the sense of keeping the Legion team pushed back here, it's kind of a cheaper Mock of Brilliance in that sense. Because with that lightning effect, the magic damage, the AoE coming out, you know, it will push back those creep waves pretty frequently, help out with that at least. So, you know, the faster attack speed as well that you get benefit, unlike a Mock of Brilliance, is nice in the aspect of course, the entangles and whatnot. So, again, it's not out of the question by any means that he went a Thunderclaw here. I wonder now if he's just going to go more of the typical Soulsborne, but again, I kind of wanted to. I think it very likely could just be that because of how this game's going, they need that tool. He wasn't going to get the Mock at this point. At least he felt that way. So they needed a tool to stop the pushes right now, and so Thunderclaw could definitely be a solid item for that. So the tower's very low, man. 84 lat. They could deny it if they really wanted to, but obviously that'd be kind of silly at this rate. Keeping them occupied. No one counter pushing yet. Looks like Scout going out though once again. He got a shrunken head, by the way. So big item pickup right there. Looks like Witch Slayer might be working for one of his own. As far as the Legion team is concerned, nothing too radical to note. I mentioned the shrunken head on Tempest. He has that. As far as what can still stop it, remember, Tempest can still be stopped by Scout here as far as that's concerned. But, you know, the Electric Eye, it's not as guaranteed as other things like a Keeper Root or whatnot. So, although it could still technically be stopped, I would feel pretty good if I'm St. Rock's here as far as getting an ulti off with that shrunken head now when it comes down to it. So Scout, speaking of him, again, kind of counter-pushing here in the middle lane. Very likely going to get this tower, actually. Legion team probably going to notice that and try to maybe play a little more aggressive, but there goes the middle tower. So more time being spent here by Justice League and Internet Gangsters. They say, you know what, we're fine. I mean, they're probably going to end up losing this tower. The fact that it hasn't even died yet, I don't know. It's hard to sit here and say Justice League needs to absolutely fall back, but this isn't working clearly. I mean, they're going to kind of get desperate now. You see right here, Torture on the front line, Torture being present, Torture goes down. You're right, there was no silver bullet even. That was just simply Blazing Strike Burst coming out right there, as well as a combo of other abilities. Energy Field going to be used in the background. Very defensive Energy Field. Tempest caught out. You see Boo Boo on top. Thundercall proc going off right there. Scout destroys the Energy Field and running in. Engineer going for the TP. He will be successful. Tempest on the other end, not successful. He gets comboed down. Deadwood says we can't do much else. Rally's also away. Yeah, it quickly is turning into a massacre here in favor of Internet Gangsters. I mean, talk about a comeback, but Justice League again. They had old outer towers destroyed, something like 12 minutes into the game here in game number 1, and IG here we are, 25.5 minutes plus, and they just held off a big time. Another base push attempt. Engineer getting picked off here by Witchslayer. Is it going to be enough for the kill? It's not, actually. Scout trying to finish off, but here comes a Falcon Punch. Scout in a lot of trouble right here. He doesn't have that shrunken head. He's going to be picked off. So maybe a couple more of those situations, and DCX might have a solid chance of coming back themselves now, but obviously a little bit of a silly decision there coming out by the Hellborn team. Engineer, not necessarily a absolute we need to kill him kind of hero, so diving a little bit too far, but in the end, I still think IG can feel pretty good about themselves, and I'm also, again, curious to see how Insania transitions now with this Thunderclaw initial pickup, but if you're Justice League, you got to be frustrated, but again, as far as what you're thinking here, what are you looking to do? You do have a light brand picked up on Torturer. Yeah, clearly. You do have a light brand picked up on Torturer, so working towards that Grimoire power now. Again, though, he went with the tablet first, the utility first, but he has a life brand at least. So the Grimoire, it is going to be good, but again, it's kind of a question: is it going to be a little bit too late in the end? I mean, you look at the GPMs across the board once again, and Torture had 400 plus. Tempest at a point had 515, 520 GPM. That was fairly early on in the game, but kind of really shows you how much it has dropped as this game has progressed, and compared to the Hellborn side, obviously, and what they've been able to pull off here themselves. So he is going to pick up the Soul's Bulwark on Wild Soul. You see Torture coming in. Oh, this could be a big opportunity. Pebbles in a lot of trouble. Pebbles in trouble. Wild Soul nearby. Here comes Pyromax as well. Misses the Dragon Fire Stone. Pebbles gets his combo off, though. He will eventually be destroyed. And now Torture standing his ground. His ulti is activated. The Torment. Marksman shot snipe on him. Entangle maybe from Boo Boo. Entangle from Boo Boo. No, the stuns. They're stunning the bear. Wild Soul cannot get close enough. The energy field causing issues. Scout caught out now. He gets the Shrunken Head off. He has the electric eye down. There's that Tempest. It's just out of range. Just out of range of Tempest. Scout's going to end up falling. Pyromancer now in a little bit of trouble. Boo Boo's still trying to kill right here on the Torture. Pyromancer goes down. And now Wild Soul on the run. So that's what Justice League needed. They needed to get a pick somewhere on the map, and it ends up being 3-0. Internet Gangsters, they got desperate there trying to respond, and they got picked off one by one in the end. So Justice League very well played right there, and that's going to open up a free Kongor. So again, Internet Gangsters starting to take control of the game as a result of what happened at the top lane right there, but Justice League says not so much. We're still in this. They managed to hold them off right there. Well, not even hold them off, but pick them off. Again, the 3 hero kills. So well played coming out. Witchslayer still working on that Shrunken. I mean, again, you do look at that GPM chart and you notice how the Hellborn team, they've been overall solid, but no one's the clear-cut taken away. I mean, Wild Soul himself still only 290 now. Again, that might have a lot to do with the fact that he went the Thunderclaw route. Although Thunderclaw can accomplish, as I was talking about earlier, kind of that mock brilliance effect for the as aggressive as they were pushing earlier on, it's not as great of a farming tool as Mocker Brilliance, that's for sure. So his farm maybe not taking off as you might see in a lot of cases with Wild Soul at this point in the game, and now 29 minutes and progressing. So, but again, going the route he did, has the Soul's Bulwark now at least. Keep an eye out as far as what he goes on from there. Scout going the Abyssal Skull, so going very defensive minded himself. And again, you do look at the Hellborn team. They're not necessarily worried about damage themselves. They got plenty of it, plenty of burst. And in fact, they're going to show it off right here. Rather be locked on marksman shot to finish him off. That's exactly part of it. Nice Dragon Fire Zone initially. Tempest, the Blazing Strike, more burst damage coming out. And the tower falls. Great coordination by IG. That was just well played, honestly, on their side. Sender on that Pyromancer did great timing with that Dragon Fire stun. Take out 2. So I think there's also 2 TPs. One of them got canceled. The Tempest decided to port in, though. And this is going to be another tower kill. So a lot of back and forth in this game, man. But all of a sudden, IG, I think it might be their biggest lead here even. 3,000 gold lead as well as a 5,000 experience lead. And they're going to push straight into the base. Rally does not have a buyback. He's up soon, though. Tempest does have a buyback. But he's up in about 20 seconds. Boo dies right there. So Wild Soul going to respawn him. Needs to be careful not to have him die a second time, but it doesn't look like buybacks are going to be used. And this is very likely going to be a tower kill if that's the case. Now Boo, oh my god, Boo might die. Yep, Boo's dead. Wild Soul doesn't have a bear now for 105 seconds. I don't know about that. Decision from Insane, and actually Downwood's coming in right here. He goes out of ulti form to help run away. Marksman shot slowing down Downwood a little bit, but is it going to be enough? While still on the run, he does not have a homecoming stone. He's just like, don't find me. Don't find me here, guys. I'm out. Stop looking for me. And that's exactly what they're going to do. I think Insania actually is going to be fine. Now, there's this red ward right here. The second he runs by it, was he spotted? No. Oh. Insania's got to feel pretty good about that one right there. As far as actually getting away, so. But, again, this bear's dead for 70 seconds. Not much he's going to be doing. He's basically a useless hero at this point. He has boots and nothing else, and his abilities really aren't the best without Boo after all. So he's just gonna do the creep pull here and just try his best to stay in line. Scout's gonna continue to be a factor here for the Hellborn team as far as this game progresses, obviously as well. He has another 1,800 gold saved up. Interested to see what he goes for. Maybe more of that brutalizer route. Maybe not. Torturer. Still well off that Grimoire even. It's 1,100 gold saved up. And they're going back to the top lane. Justice League thinks that this is a time. Boo Boo's still dead for 20 seconds, but I don't know if that's a cue of we need to go, honestly. I just don't know if you can be confident pushing it as 5 versus 5 right here with cooldowns ready to go. Pebbles got jumped. He shrunk and headed right away. He said, screw it, I'm going to go back in. Which there follows it up. Nice Tempest ultimate, though. No scout eye to be used. The full duration of the Hellborn team absolutely explodes. Which there goes down. A hat trick coming out for Deadwood right there. Hey, if you get a Tempest ultimate like that, of course the push is going to work. Melee racks will fall right there, and the Hellborn team has to run away. Zergo, he bought back, I believe. Yeah, he definitely bought back, as did Pebbles earlier, so he's actually still dead. But Scout buys back, but not much he could do. Again, he just did not have the electric guy down initially and got caught out by Tips right there, who got the portal key going into that. So, what was that? That was exactly what they needed. Yep, Justice League. Again, it's a little bit skeptical about trying to push him right there, 5 versus 5, but that, you know, if you get, there's always a Tempest factor. We always talk about here in HoNcast, so evident. Hey, if you can land a big Tempest ultimate like that, then of course it's going to work out, like I said. So, I mean, just look at what happened right there. What was a pretty questionable push again coming out by Justice League, not choosing to try to pick maybe beforehand, instead just go straight into a 5 versus 5, ends up being 2 sets of racks down, and they're falling back. I mean, yeah, that's got to be a huge momentum boost for Justice League right there. Now, but you look at the overall leads. I mean, for just getting 2 sets of racks killed, they're only up 3,700 gold. They're only up 1,600 experience. This is 33.5 minutes into this game, so that is not really too impressive in the long run. I mean, at the same time, though, obviously, 2 sets of racks is something to keep in mind when you look at those stats, and it absolutely is a big deal. But by no means is IG, once again, especially with the way this game has been going back and forth, is this game over? I mean, you're definitely playing this out here, and I would not be surprised to see yet another comeback and yet another change in momentum here in what is game number 1. Where the hell's the bear? Is he invisible? Oh, no, he hasn't responded yet. Nope, there's the bear. Never mind. Demonic Breastplate is finished on Boo Boo. They're pushing by themselves. I don't like this decision here. I do not like this decision. They do have support coming in. Tempest jumps, though. Okay, here comes the support, though. Can they get here in time? Falcon Punch using a Wild Soul. He is still fairly tanky in that ulti form. Rowley's trying to chase it down. Down goes Wild Soul right there. Scout comes in with a response, but out Torture. Chain Reaction is going to miss. Here comes Pebbles and Empowerment. Though Tempest is going to be bursted down. No ultimate. So not that we can steal the world. Barrier will activate right there by the Legion team. Pebbles Shrunken Head is up. He has a double damage rune, but he is on the run now. Exactly what I was thinking, though. I did not like that choice by IG. They were basically two-man pushing. Now Pebbles is going to be able to portal key away. Rally chasing. Nope, Stalagmites though. And it will be fine. So that's how it ends. It ends up being a 2-for-1. Tempest for the Wild Soul and Witch Slayer, actually. Yeah, it's if you're IG, you're fighting as 5 if you're IG. It's, you know, at this point in the game especially, to push up as 2 like that, very risky and honestly just a pretty silly decision from Internet Gangsters, I feel. So Pebbles, this is not going to be good either. Chain Reactions is going to connect. He did not realize they were nearby. In comes the Seismic Slams. There's the Stalagmites, though, as well as Pyromancer assistance, so he will live. But now damage on the tower. Again, this is the last set of racks that are up. Yeah, but Justice League, they are not ready to push in that just yet. They know that they have a good advantage with the top and middle. Pushing in, it's going to force IG to continually fall back. I mean, maybe IG just felt kind of desperate there that they need to make something happen, but you know, it's fine, understandable. But at the same time, again, if you're going to do that, go as 5. Don't try to push as 2, and that makes something happen. If anything, Scout's really I feel like the only one that should confidently be pushing by himself. But even so, I mean, that's not even. That's also very, very risky. With the Bound Die here on Rally, I'm sure they even still have Dust. No Dust currently, but they do have the Bound Die on Rally. And they have plenty of jump potential between Deadwood, who now has a Demonic Breastplate, by the way, and Tempest. Torture still trying to finish that Grimoire. This game, man, it's as far as gold in general, there really hasn't been a whole lot of it. I mean, you look at, again, both sides, no one over 400 GPM, a lot of 300 pluses on either side, but there's been no hard carry taken over by any means. Deadwood's going to jump Pyromancer right here, but Witcher also jumped in. Deadwood's locked down. And, of course, I'm going to lag out. But I think Deadwood is going to end up dying right here. Is he? Is he? Yep, he's dead. Guess what happens? Blazing Strike and Silver Bullet were both used, it looks like. So, yeah, again, guys, I know it's frustrating. I will try to get that looked at in between the games right here. But for some reason, it seems like almost 10 minutes and just random hiccup. But good pick up right there. Pick off onto Deadwood. Obviously, he jumped in, but which they also countered. And ends up getting the kill. Shieldbreaker just picked up by Scout, by the way. So he's got that right-click damage presence now. Level 1 Shieldbreaker finished. Boo Boo's caught it again. I feel like Boo Boo has died like 20 times this game. Poor bear. 8. Do you know for a fact? You've been counting? You probably have. You got a notepad back there. Statsman. 2350 gold on Torture currently, so he's getting closer to Grimoire. But again, it's at this rate. Is that even what he wants to fit? I mean, I'm trying to think of, is there another more obvious decision that he maybe should look to go for instead at this rate especially? You could argue maybe a Frostfield plate wouldn't be bad here. For both the bulkiness as well as just a decent effect from it, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, he is their again, that carry presence. He is their damage dealer. So yeah, it seems like Grimoire is definitely the good choice here. And I believe he has enough gold for it. Yeah, Grimoire's going to be purchased, so it's going to be delivered now. Gnome's Wisdom will also just picked up by Saint Rocks on Tempest, so that's an expensive courier, man. So they'll have a Gnome's Wisdom now to push as well in their favor. We'll see what they can make of that. That is what? That's the 3 armor compared to yeah. I was trying to think about that. He had the Ring of Teachers, so maybe he just felt like he just really wanted to use that Trinity, and obviously the armor's good. I was thinking maybe go for an Abyssal Skull instead, just because it's 2 more armor, and you are dealing against Scout with a Shieldbreaker now. Good amount of physical damage as this game progresses on, but there is still at the same time decent magical damage. So Yeah, it's very minor. 2 armor at this stage in the game, not the absolute biggest deal in the world. And Gnome's Wisdom, just more beneficial for him as a hero general too, so. Just was looking at the comparison, though. They're going to 5-man push. You know, I questioned them last time, and it worked out beautifully, so I'm not going to do it. I think Justice League has every right to go for the push right here. They do have the middle lane and the top lane also pushing in, so yeah, it is, again, it's as long as they just don't overextend, they don't go for the all-in, they just poke at the tower. That's exactly what they need to do. Just drain the tower's life, eventually get it destroyed, because the Hellborn team is going to constantly have to go to the top of the middle lane. If they were counter-pushing in the lane, then yeah, you could question this. But the fact that they have all 3 lanes pushing in their favor is pretty good news. Pebbles says he's trying to wait to know. He's going to go, but he's going to mess up completely. Great Talbot away. Down goes Pebbles. He does have buyback. He buys back immediately. Shrunken Head activated by Tempest right there. He had the marksman shot incoming, so he decides to use it. And he's going to fall back, though. Without a Shrunken Head, that Tempest ultimate becomes a lot more vulnerable to being stopped, obviously, so they will need to keep that in mind now. Pebbles going back in. Stalagmites connects on a couple, but he falls back before much of a response happens. Energy field obviously down, so Engineer not the biggest deal in the world here anymore. Oh wow, yeah, you look at the top lane in the meantime. So again, if you're GCX, you're just fine with this. Your creeps are slowly but surely pushing into the base. And going to constantly force the Hellborn team to react to it. You see Boo Boo, by the way, he even picks up a Mystic Investment on Boo Boo. Not often you see that, as well as himself. But just trying to help keep the bear alive here in this game. That's how important it is. Pebbles jumping back in. Chuck's torturing his teammates. Hex comes out. The double burst between the Silver Bolt and the Blazing Strike. Torturer is dead. So with Torturer dead, the Legion team probably not wanting to fight this anymore. Again, no Shrunken Head either on Tempest, although it is coming up very shortly. They are going to ultimately fall back. So, you can say Internet Gangsters, in a sense, does successfully hold. But you look at the tower, it is nearly dead as well here at the Sacrificial Shrine. So again, for IG, or DCX, excuse me, for Justice League, you're not too worried with that. However, I don't know about still sticking up here. It is a numbers disadvantage now. Yeah, Booba's going to start scaring them off, it looks like. And that'll be that. So at least Internet Gangsters will get a little bit of freedom here now to kind of push back the lanes. Wild Soul, I need to be really careful here. Legion Team DCX may figure they went for 10. I wouldn't be surprised to even see Portal Keys. No, they're not going to go for it, though. Wild Soul is going to be fine in the end. Shield Breaker level 2. Yeah, level 2 just purchased by Scout in the meantime. Can the GPMs? Oh, Wild Soul, what are you doing? Oh no, why are you pushing up that far by yourself in the dark, no vision whatsoever, after they were just pushing that lane? I don't know. That's big. I mean, he does have a buyback, so he will be able to resurrect here. Or buyback even here. At least. But everything is up on, well, both sides at this point, other than that wall. So Pebbles again, chucks at Tempest, but the Shrunken Head goes off. He puts a stun on the Witch there. He's going to use Shrunken Head himself. So a lot of those going off right here. You see Pebbles also using his. Boo Boo is coming out, so Wildsoul buys back. And the Legion team gets that at least. You look at the base, though, once again. The tower's taking a lot of damage. Energy field in the background. Boo Boo with the Entangle and Torture. Boo Boo's dropping. He does not have a resummon. Boo Boo's going to fall right here. Wildsoul does not have a resummon. The tower at the shrine goes down. I think we may be seeing the beginning of the end right here. As DCX, just the pressure is just going to be too much, especially from this creep wave. Melee racks, they are starting to melt right here. Invulnerability is going to be used. Pebbles thinking about it. Witchslayer jumps in, but nice Talbot away. Capella away even. Witchslayer now in trouble. In the foreground, we do see Bulk here on Deadwood. He jumps in. Pebbles being comboed. Witchslayer going to fall right there. Scout chasing, not going to happen though. Pyromancer going to be picked up. Wildsoul's like, right click, not much else I can do. GG's coming out. Justice League will take game number 1 here in this best out of 3. Well played by Justice League. That was a fun game, man. A lot of back and forth between those two teams right there. Again, that was definitely a fun game to cast. Hopefully a fun game to watch, but no doubt some mistakes made on both sides even. I mean, up until the very end there with at that point, I mean, obviously they were down by quite a bit, but the choice to push up as Wildsoul like that and into the dark at the bottom lane, your teammates weren't really necessarily too close to you, and obviously, as we even saw right there, they weren't even close enough by any means. So, good pick up by Justice League, and eventually make the final push to end it. So, again, though, hell of a game. You think back to that top lane, a little bit. I still stand to that word that at Justice League pushing when they were at that point, instead of saying that they wanted to fight 5 versus 5. They knew they had the Tempest factor, and it could be a risky play sometimes. But hey, when you got the Tempest factor.